This is Steve with Noonan Sports Specialists, and this week's tip of the week is regarding workouts on the road and how to modify them according to your needs. When we're on the road, one of the things that typically can be a problem with working out is not necessarily finding equipment, but finding equipment that's appropriate to the workout that you're hoping to do. Whether that means you don't have the equipment necessary for the exercises you're doing, or you just don't have a significant enough load, there are some ways that you can work around that. So in today's example, we're going to talk just a little bit about going to, for instance, a hotel gym and working around a very limited selection of dumbbells. The sample workout we'll go through today will consist of 5 different exercises: a squat variation, single leg exercise, a trunk exercise, a push, and a pull. In the original workout, you'd be doing a goblet squat, a reverse lunge, a push-up, a single arm row, and a front plank. We're going to modify all those today to make them a little bit more difficult, for instance, if you were working around that limited amount of dumbbells. So when we're talking about modifying the squat, when we're starting with just a goblet squat, to make this more difficult today, we're going to add in a pause at the bottom for a 3 count. So if you're starting in your normal squat position, dropping down, 1, 2, 3, and up. 1, 2, 3, and up. What we want to make sure on these is when you pause on the bottom, you still have some tension on those legs and we're not just resting on the calves. We want to make sure that we're locked in tight. For our single leg exercise, we would typically be doing something like a reverse lunge or walking lunge. Today we're going to do an overhead reverse lunge. So where we would normally be holding the dumbbell in the goblet position, we're going to go to a single arm overhead. Whatever arm I'm holding overhead, I'm going to use that same leg to step back. Just like so. This is going to introduce a whole new level of instability, as you're not only offsetting the load to one side, but you're also bringing it overhead. In our original setup, we were doing a 1-arm row for our pulling exercise, and then we're also going to be doing a front plank for our trunk exercise. We're going to actually combine those now. We're going to do a Renegade Row. There's several variations of this. Now, if you were limited to just one dumbbell, you can still do this exercise. It's going to be just slightly different. We're going to start by setting the dumbbell on the floor, going to our push-up position plank with one hand on the dumbbell. I'm now going to bring the feet apart, and we're going to row. And then I'm going to switch sides. Same thing there. As you can see, by bringing the feet out, I'm increasing my base of stability. So if it's too difficult, bring the feet wider. If it's too easy, bring them closer. Huge demand on that midsection. Our final exercise would have been a single arm overhead press, but again, we're limited on our load, so we're going to do what's called a SOTS press. This is going to increase the difficulty by putting you into a squat position first. So we're going to come down here, hold the squat position, and press overhead. So that SOTS press is going to cover a lot of things, as far as it's going to assure that you have proper shoulder mobility. You do have to stabilize through the midsection, and you also have to maintain that squat position. So it definitely increases the difficulty of the overhead press. So as you can see, in wrapping up, pretty easy way to modify these exercises. There's hundreds more of these ways that we can modify these exercises, whether that's a limitation that you're finding in regards to equipment or whatever. There's always a way around it. So try these out and see what you think.